Dream a little dream of me. Welcome, kindreds. It's Jessica TheStoryWitch. I hope you're doing well and that you've had a good February, although we still have a few days of it left. This is my setup in my bullet journal for March. I've gone with a very similar layout to last month. I'm trying to keep things a bit more loose and free-flowing in my journal. Structured these last year or so. More general journaling space and less in the way of focus spreads to fill in. I no longer include a habit tracker, and my calendar is very much more simplified than it was. Enjoying playing more, worrying less about the layouts. It feels a lot more relaxed, a lot more fun. I hope your journals are working for you. If you don't have a bullet journal yet, my finished setup for March. It was very minimal, like I did last month. I've kind of gone with the kind of green and yellow because it is St. David's Day, even though I don't necessarily work with the saints in a kind of Christian context. Being a Welsh person, that is something that I do take note of. It is our kind of national saints day, so it's more for me about celebrating Wales rather than St. David specifically. In Welsh it is Mis Mawrth, which is actually the same word as for Tuesday because March is the month of Mars, the same as Tuesday is the day of Mars, and so I'm expecting to have that kind of more Martian energy this month. I've put some of the things in my kind of overview of the month, mainly the kind of astrological things that are going on, the equinox, the quarter moons, full moon and new moon. I will add more to this of like my more personal things that's happening in the month because I've kept this instead of having my calendar like I did last month too. I found it worked really well. And then I have got my must-do list, my might-do list, which I'm still absolutely loving. If you haven't heard me talking about this yet, I really recommend this rather than having a to-do list, because you can feel free to add whatever you like onto your might-do list. But I did find last month that I needed a little kind of overspill of things that I either want to do or might do next month, and so I put a little section here for April so I can start to write in there as well. I just carried on with the kind of colour theme of the same thing. My field notes, I decided to stop writing the days down because I find some days I have quite a lot to say and that I've noticed and observed in nature, or to do with the astrology, or to do with my kind of inner reactions to what is going on in the outer world. These are all things I consider to be pertinent to field notes. It's not literally strictly what is, you know, like this flower is blooming, although I do make note of that too, you know, like the hazel catkins are in full puffy yellowness at the moment. But I also write things about how I feel, you know, whether there's stirrings of spring within me as well. So rather than putting the days down, I've left this more open-ended so I can jot things down. I may find it long term I need 2 pages for this, but we will see. We will see. And then this is my page for, I started to write on here and then it looked really rubbish, so I covered it up and just wrote here vibes, feels, magical plans. So it was kind of open-ended of my less mundane, my more magical things that are going in March. I do need to print off my card for the month, which is the Four of Wands. This is from the Mary L Tarot, and I did my year ahead spread at the beginning of the year. And for March it was the Four of Wands. That kind of fiery 4 energy does feel very appropriate for that more martial, Mars connected month. My sprocket for some reason is not letting me print. You might have seen me print out a little sticker. I'm going to try and get that sorted out after I finish doing this video, and so I can print like a small version of this to stick in here. I'll also be making some of my plans, and we've got red tent this month. It's the equinox, so I will definitely be doing something to mark that, to celebrate that. And yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to encourage the Mars energy anymore. We're still in Mercury retrograde at the beginning of the month, so yeah, there's things going on. There are things going on. This card to me very much speaks of like ancestor connection and stuff as well, so that is something that I'm going to be looking at, focusing on this month too. Oh, sorry, the dog's going crazy. Hopefully that is not too problematic. I've only got one spread left to show you anyway. And this is my dailies. I've started on the 4th because up until then I'm gonna be including that in my February, because I found I do like 8 of these at a time, so I'm ready for that in my February setup. So I've just started here on the Wednesday the 4th, and then that'll just flow through. And then when I need to have journaling space, which I do often, I just turn the page, maybe use a colour stripe at the top, write the day on there, and I can just journal in there. Or, you know, if I'm doing something specific for full moons, new moons, if I'm doing tarot reads, things like that, then I just jot them down as I go along. That's what I love so much about using the bullet journal as a more kind of personal, I feel like it blends them all, you know, it blends Book of Shadows, Books of Mirrors, it blends it all in. And because of the index, you can put anything anywhere and you can always refer back to it, you can always find it. So yeah, very, very simple, very, very basic. I didn't mention about this actually, I put the moons, I've carried on doing that because I was doing that in February because my theme was kind of moons, but I've actually found it really useful to have them out like that at the tops of the pages, because it allows me to track both the sign and the phase really clearly. I've also marked on there's still Mercury retrograde for these 4 days that are showing here. That having that information more connected to my mundane to-do lists and things like that, I found really interesting and useful. So I think I'm going to continue. I'm definitely going to continue it with March. It might be something that I continue doing long term. I love how this daily spread works for me since I started doing it. I think it was like back in November last year. It just has the right, you know, it's a good amount of space to be able to make some notes, but you can also fit 4 days on a double spread, so you can also see that kind of what's up next, which is really helpful too. So my nail polish is literally gone. Gone everywhere. Anyway, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know how your journals are going. If you'd like me to try anything, see anything, have any questions, please do ask them. Warmest blessings, guys, and I will see you very soon.